morning, everybody. Jen here. As you can see by the sign behind me, I am right near Kennedy Space Center out in Titusville, Florida, because we came to check out the Valiant Air Command Warbird Museum. I've never been here, and they have some planes here that you can only see here that do not exist anywhere else in the world. So I'm very excited to get in and check it out. Let's go.
Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video. If you need a stroller rental while you're here in Orlando, got a great offer for you at the end of the video.
And it's really cool. They have a ton of volunteers here. Most of them are all retired military pilots, and they know their stuff, and they take you around and you get a really fascinating tour. I'm learning so much more following him around than I would have just doing this on my own. And I found out we have the same birthday, September 29th. So this is really cool. This is like where they're actually actively restoring these planes, and I mean, you can't enter in their workspace, but it's open so you can actually see what they're doing, and if you come here frequently, watch the progress. I love that. So this is the actual plane that crashed about 2 months ago into Cocoa Beach. If I can find the YouTube video, I'll put the link below. He had engine trouble, and he was trying to get to Patrick Air Force Base to land, couldn't make it. Oh, it's so windy. So he did an emergency landing in the ocean, and you'll see like all this damage wasn't from landing, it was from the actual recovery efforts. And it literally, like, they had to drag it out of the ocean, and it just ripped everything out of the bottom of it. Sad. So they actually, they really wanted to get a barge and like recover it properly, but the government wouldn't want to wait 4 days with the plane sitting in the ocean. So they made them crane it out. So there was a crane on the shore, and then they had to drag it. And it literally, the plane was in perfect condition until they had to drag it out of the ocean, up over the dunes, across the rocks. Such a shame. This is really cool. I've never seen a MiG in like person. And this one was actually Czechoslovakian that they got. This is really cool. Oh my gosh, this is an RU-21, and how amazing is the art on the side of that. Oh, I hope they preserve that. So this is one of the oldest planes in their collection. It's from the 30s. And back before electronics, this was how they gauged how fast the wind would literally push this, and you could look out the cockpit and see what his speed was. Although he said these were a very slow plane, they really didn't go more than like 50 or 60 miles per hour. So this plane is really cool. It's called Rosie the Rocketeer because the pilot, well, this is a replica, but the pilot of the original L4 Grasshopper, which is what this type is, lovingly nicknamed Bazooka Charlie, he was he had an artillery spotter role for reconnaissance missions in 1944. He decided that because they kind of went in first, that he could be sneaky, and he added 3 bazooka like rocket launchers to the wings of his plane, where he was officially credited with 6 tanks destroyed and disabling several German armored cars. That's interesting. So this actually sat in the bottom of Lake Michigan for 50 years, and when they pulled it up, this is the original paint job from the 1940s. It was so deep, and there was so little oxygen that it basically froze it in time, completely preserved it. There's very little rust. I mean, obviously they repainted the rest of it, but this is what it actually looked like when they pulled it out.
F-80 Shooting Star was the very first operational jet fighter that we had.
Wow, so this was the trainer for our very first jet fighter. That's amazing. I love airplane art. So this here, this used to be open. And that is how they would measure the wind speed. The wind would go in there, and there was, you know, electronic stuff that would convert it into an actual speed. So this beast is an F-14. You might recognize this plane because this is the type of plane that Tom Cruise flew in Top Gun. This is so exciting. I'm getting to go inside a B-52 bomber.
I've cracked my head on it.
Oh, this is cool. You gonna go up?
If it can.
And this is the lower deck. This is the compartment for the navigator and the bombardier down here.
There's a lot of
The navigator
buttons.
sat in the corner over there, and the bombardier station was right here. That orange thing in front of you, in front of him was his bomb sight. And the other one over there, that larger screen, was a radar scope for the navigator. And up top is the, of course, the flight deck up there, the pilot, co-pilot.
Are you out of the way so I can at least peek up? So this is where Jen forgets to stop filming on the camera. I totally kept recording, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of it in because you can actually hear my excitement when I get up into the cockpit area. And so it's a little squirrely because I was literally crawling, because you go up the ladder and then you have to crawl to the cockpit. But it was just the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So many buttons. So it's not that.
This
Not
is
that big in here.
amazing. It's small. I don't know how they did that. So there was no air back then. Like, could you imagine?
No, you don't need it. You just open the window.
So you're the navigator. Don't crash us.
No promises.
And here's another thing where, like, I'm giddy because I just came out of here. Like, this is something I've never done, and I will probably never do again unless I come back here. But this is the front end of a B-52 Stratofortress. And if you do one of their free guided tours, they will take you inside of it. It was awesome.
There's a battery attached to this. Normally when it's charged, it'll spin the gun around real good. But the batteries are real low. You look right there, or if you look up in that silver piece, that thing turns.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it works. People always ask me, says, well, if all those barrels are firing at one time, why aren't they striking this right here? You know, how come some of them aren't striking right here? The reason is that the only time this gun fires is when this outer barrel comes around here. Okay? But it's firing so fast that it looks like they're all going off at one time. This thing fired at about 1,000 to 1,100 rounds a minute.
Wow.
Problem was, it only carried about 1,600 rounds.
So I kind of filmed a little bit of this, but now that we've moved on, I'm going to talk a little bit more. This is an actual spinning, like, Gatling gun. And these are the size bullets. Now, each one of these bullets does a different thing. But they came out of here. Oh, that is so cool. But the only thing is, this shot, I think, 1,000 rounds a minute. And the gun was only loaded with 1,600 rounds. So it wasn't even like 2 full bursts. So they had to be very careful with how quick they pushed the button, because bullets would come out real fast. But these are the same type of bullets that are on an A-10, which is like my second favorite plane. It's up there. It's pretty much tied with the SR-71.
What this is it's called a Canberra. This was a British bomber. It was built by the British, by a company called English Electric, and they built quite a number of these for the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force, and the Royal Navy and Air Force flew these for quite a number of years. This aircraft could exceed almost 90,000 feet.
That's like almost
That's the altitude that the U-2 spy planes fly,
Yeah.
and the SR-71s fly. That this aircraft, not one like her, but this particular one, flew the very first high altitude spy mission over the Soviet Union.
Oh, wow.
Before our U-2s and SR-71s and stuff like that. This aircraft, huh? Yep, before Gary Powers. And this was in something like the mid-50s, I think.
Wow.
I don't know exactly when, but they flew a mission over Siberia.
So this is really cool. This specific plane, this is the only one in existence, and it is here. It was NASA's and Northrop Grumman's F-5E test aircraft. So it's going to look different than a normal F-5 fighter jet because they used this plane to figure out how to lower the sound of a sonic boom. And they were actually successful with this specific model where they were able to lower the sound of a sonic boom by 40%. This is the only one in existence. Very cool. And this twin cabin plane is even cooler. This is an XP-82 twin Mustang because they basically took two P-82s, fused them together, and created one plane out of it. This was used near the end of World War II when this was created about 6 months before we bombed Japan because our bombers were having trouble reaching their destinations. The planes that they used before then could only get about halfway and then would have to turn around and leave our bombers alone in air. These were created to be able to escort our bombers from the start all the way to their destination to protect them in the air. Unfortunately, they were created so late in the war and so close to the bombings that didn't really change the fate of the war, but it was like a huge innovation in flight. And right here at Valiant Air Command is the only one in existence that's still in flying condition. Now, they don't fly it. It needs work. It's been out of flight condition for a long time, but this is still this is the best one you will see. There are none actually flying in existence anymore, and there are only a couple on display, and none are fully restored like this one. So this is a one of a kind, just like the NavAir, but this one has a much more important historical value than, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Sonic boom's not loud, but this is huge. So this is the F-11 Tiger. This plane was only used for about 5 years, which if you think about it, in the life of a military aircraft is like seconds. But this type of, not the specific one, but the F-11 Tiger has the notorious claim to fame of being the only plane to shoot itself down. Really, Rye? You are such a bookmark. You know what? I'm gonna keep filming. This is staying in. Apparently, the pilot had shot a bunch of bullets, banked so hard and so fast that he actually flew through the bullets that he shot and damaged the plane so much that the plane actually went down. Gives friendly fire a whole new meaning. Now, these you may recognize if you've ever watched the show MASH. These are the Bell helicopters. So these were like the preceptor to Army helicopters as we know them today. I mean, it's amazing to think that we went from these to like the Blackhawks and Chinooks that are still in service today. But these are actually fully flying. Well, I mean, this one is currently being worked on, but this one is in current flight status, and they do fly these regularly. This one they take out about once a month. Obviously, this one's down for maintenance, so I don't know when this one will be out flying again. Now, this is cool. This is actual, the negatives from film taken from 80,000 feet from a K-17 1B aerial camera back in the Vietnam War era. So this is crazy. So think about what you see today, like from surveillance and stuff, and this is what they had to work with in Vietnam. So all these pictures are actually soldiers who passed during the Vietnam War. These pictures represent 1%. This is only 1% of the total casualties we faced. So this is not something I normally do, but I'm going to insert a moment of silence for those who lost their lives protecting us. Now this is the Tico Bell. This little lady has had an amazing life. So if you see planes with the black and white stripes, These are planes that were actually used in the invasion of D-Day. So she flew over the beaches of Normandy and paratroopers dropped out. They jumped right from those doors. Like, it's like mind-blowing that she was actually part of that. After that, she was retired. She went to, she worked for humanitarian aid in Berlin for East Berlin. She flew her humanitarian missions because for a while they were completely surrounded by the Soviets. So no food, nothing could get in or out of East Berlin. So this plane actually did cargo where she flew in and brought food, medicine, anything they would need so that they would survive. Then she went and lived in Norway and actually, was it Norway or Denmark? She went to Norway for a while, then went to Denmark, where she was actually the private aircraft for the Queen and her family. Then she made her way back here, and after Hurricane Dorian, the Valiant Air here, the volunteers here, actually flew humanitarian missions again, where they took supplies into the Bahamas. So this one little plane still flies today. Like, she's still in working order. They still take her out and fly her. And she is just amazing and has done some wonderful things. And let me just say, I could stand under this fan all day. It could be 100 degrees out and this fan is putting off some air and it's barely moving. I want to put one of these in my living room. So this part we skipped when we did the first thing because he took us through and talked about all the planes. So not only does this have one of the biggest collections of warbirds I've personally seen on a single site, they have an amazing amount of memorabilia as well. Now they have a fantastic Tuskegee Airmen display, and this is actually, this specific wingtip was part of a P-40 that was flown by the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II training. The aircraft crashed due to mechanical failure and lies deep in the grounds near the Walterboro Airport. In the early 90s, 12 members of this Valiant Air Command went there and they dug out some of the pieces and recovered as much as they could, and this piece is actually on display. This is one thing I love when they show the uniforms. Like, these are how the women's uniforms for all the different branches and all, what they look like. That's really cool. I like this one, the aviation mechanist for the Navy. There's a Red Cross and then an actual airwoman. Sorry, the lighting, because it's the fluorescent lighting, the glare is terrible in here. This is an actual piece from a Messerschmitt 110 that was shot down during the Battle of the Bulge in 1944-45. It was donated by one of the colonels who personally brought it back from Europe. That's like, you can see the bullet hole in it still. Wait, where's my fingers? Right there. Oh my gosh, look at this tiny little typewriter. My kids were like, that is so small. And I was like, you type on a cell phone and you're calling this small? Okay, this is interesting. Jeremy just gave me a wicked lesson because I'm an idiot. So this is a machine gun used by infantry. This is a light machine gun used on aircraft. The main difference, solid barrel, air-cooled barrel. So this is interesting up here. This is actually the first plane they talked about, but it was loud, so I didn't want to come out and film. This is a full-scale, like exact replica of an Epps monoplane. This is in full flying condition. Well, let me rephrase that. If it had the engine on it, it would be in full flying condition. But the gentleman who built this actually did fly this plane, and clearly he was insane. Oh, it's Donald. This plane has Donald on it, but he's Happy Donald. I love this. I love airplane art. Like, y'all have no idea. Oh my gosh! I'm actually getting stopped at a drawbridge because of that sailboat. Can you even see it? He's just waiting for the bridge to go up so we can clear. This is cool. I haven't been stopped at a drawbridge in a long time. Although that boat is going real slow. Whoa, the bridge is completely see-through. You don't realize that when you're driving over it. That's crazy. So right across the street, or just a little bit down from the Warbird Museum, is the Enchanted Forest County Park. So we decided to stop in and check it out real quick. Oh, there's an amphitheater here. This place is cool. They have a really cool display of Florida limestone set up here. I like that. Butterflies. I don't mind them when they're outside. Oh, look. Can I get close? No, he's going to fly away. No, stop moving. So we're right here, which is this area here. I literally can't see because of the glare. They have a ton of hiking trails here. We're definitely going to have to come back when it's not 100 degrees out and do some hiking here. This one looks like a boardwalk. Ooh. Yeah, this is really cool. They have these guide to the gardens that show the different plants that you can spot along the walking route. They have one for plants. They have one for all the different birds you can see. Wow, that's amazing. Is there any bald eagles? Ospreys? We have those red-tailed. Oh, I didn't realize we had red-tailed hawks here. Oh, no eagles spotted around here. We have those at our house.
Oh, there's even someone from way down there.
Wow. There's been people from Peru that have visited here. Someone from Jerusalem. A lot of folks from Greenland. Wow. Well, this is helpful. Oh, I just want to do this little loop right here. Look how pretty that is. Through the butterfly garden. Oh, come on. It's like a 5-second walk. Here, you can sit here in the shade, in the rocking chair. Oh my God, how pretty is this? This is so cool. Oh, looks like they're replanting. But they do have a little amphitheater here. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my God, with this beautiful oak tree. Oh, this would be a great spot for like a wedding. Oh yeah. I want to check out this little butterfly garden. And I like how just all throughout they have different benches set up. I totally want to run through that sprinkler, y'all. You have no idea. But it is like so disgusting hot. They're actually, looks like they just replanted. But they have, this is called Serenity Pond. I bet you there's some frogs in here, but they're hiding because it is wicked hot out. There might even be some turtles in here. But again, it's just too hot. They'll all be hiding underground. There are so many cool little spots to like sit, and I love how they found these really funky, cool pieces of Florida limestone and just have them like statues all over the place. That's cool. They totally just built the deck around the rock, and this is actually coquina rock. This is the same type of rock that the fort in St. Augustine, the Fort Matanzas, is built out of. This is completely made from like the grains of decomposed sand and shell fragments. Very cool. I'm just waiting for the, oh yeah, that felt so good. So it looks like their little gift shop is closed, but they have a whole interior area where they have a little walkthrough interactive area. Very, very cool. What you looking at? Oh, this is neat. So these are like the non-native imposter species. Look, nothing. Look, they're literally going to destroy everything. So much so that there is no future. These are always fun when they have the magnifying glass, so you can put like the shell under it. Is there a way to adjust? And then you can see it under magnification, what it looks like. Very cool. What is that? Oh,
I don't know.
This one has a better camera. That is really cool. I have no idea what that is, but it's cool. It almost looks like a piece of skin. It has like hair. It's some kind of leaf. Okay, now she's doing a feather. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. That's what a feather looks like under magnification. That's cool. Oh, you're gonna make footprints in the sand. That's a snapping turtle. Very cool. Now what are you doing? A bear cub, is that what this is? Oh, black bear. I'm going to do a muskrat. You can just kind of see it, that's really cool. Bald eagle talons. Very cool. This is cool. This is an actual rattlesnake. Like, this is real. Like taxidermied rattlesnake. Very cool. Now, this is like a fantastic science lesson if you're here to like try to squeeze a little learning in. And again, it's not huge. So this is nothing you can do in just a short amount. I mean, obviously hikes would take longer, but to just stop in here, you can knock this out in like 30 minutes. Oh, I almost missed they even have a taxidermied wild boar and a taxidermied bobcat. Oh, they have a lot of preserved animals in here. I love this. Oh my gosh, how cute is this toad? He's adorable. And what kind of snake is she?
She's a red rat snake. More commonly you might hear corn snake.
Okay.
Right there. Other names.
So these are the good ones. These are the ones we want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the rat eaters.
No one else can feel the words on your lips. Thank you for that. I cannot believe they ran away. You guys are bums. My butt's wet. Felt good though. Huh? All right, back in the car because there's air conditioning and there's no wind. So that was really cool. So you pay, you get your wristband. I will put a link in the description below to their actual website. But I mean, I've never been in a B-52 cockpit. So that was like a bucket list item I didn't even know I had. That was cool. They have a couple planes like that, what was it, P-82 Twin Mustang? Something like that. I think I'm saying that wrong. That only exists. The only one in the world that's in flight condition is here. So this is really cool. It's literally on the way to Kennedy Space Center. So you drive past the entrance to this on your way to Kennedy. So this, you can do this in an hour. So if you're doing a Kennedy Space Center day, I would suggest planning to get here right when it opens at 9 a.m. It's open 9 to 5 pretty much every day except for like air show days of actual air shows, and then like Christmas, New Year's, and I think Thanksgiving. So they're almost open every day. Totally nonprofit, totally run by volunteers. They only survive because of people like us that go and pay our entry fee to get in and learn about all these amazing planes and kind of the history of our country, because like these planes brought us to where we are today. But again, yeah, it's literally on the way. So you could stop here, take an hour, tour through it, and then head on and spend the rest of your day at Kennedy Space Center. It's a really great kind of intro to that too, because it kind of leads you up to space. I mean, not really. It only goes up to like the Vietnam War, but it's a precursor to the space program. And it's super learning. So if you're doing homeschool, it's also a great science lesson. No, history, science, aviation, it's everything. And I totally yelled at Lee for being long-winded, and that was like 3 minutes long. But if you guys like these videos, please click that subscribe button, tap the like, and ring that notification bell so you always know when a new video is headed your way. Thank you so much for watching, and now we're on to the next adventure. Bye, guys.
Today's video brought to you by Orlando for Families. For amazing prices and even better customer service on all of your stroller rental needs for your Orlando vacation, visit them at the website listed below, www.orlandoforfamilies.com. Use the promo code OHANA to save 15% off of their already competitive prices.